Born in Haskell County, who was executed in Texas in 1999, has been identified as the person responsible for a 40-year-old murder. Good evening. I'm Kathleen Barkley.
And I'm David Bacon. Thank you for joining us tonight. That's our top story at 10. Cold case detectives in Portland, Oregon have identified Jerry Mcfadden as the killer of 20-year-old Anna Marie Havlaka. She was found dead in July of 1979 in her apartment.
In 2011, a full DNA profile of an unknown male was discovered from evidence at that scene. Detectives were unable to find a match and turned to forensic genealogy, able to match 3 of 4 familial lines. They then identified Mcfadden as the killer. He was born in Haskell County in 1948. Detectives traveled to Texas to interview and collect DNA samples from his family, who told them he traveled to the Pacific Northwest in 1979 with an acquaintance who dropped him off in Portland and never heard from him again. You can get a full breakdown of this case at bigcountryhomepage.com.
And an update for you tonight from the Taylor County Courthouse here in Abilene. We told you earlier this evening a jury found Michael Sean Guti guilty of murdering Donald Perkins in 2016. The jury sentencing him to 20 years in prison. Donald Perkins was killed on the intersection of Marigold and Arnold back in 2016. A bartender taking the stand during the trial saying Guti came to her closed bar asking for Perkins, claiming he raped his daughter.
Now at the Jones County Courthouse in Anson, a jury determining Wednesday 41-year-old Wesley Dale Mason is guilty of murder. That same jury deciding today Mason will spend life in prison as well as a $10,000 fine. No word on if he will be eligible for parole. The jury only taking an hour and a half to hand down the verdict on Wednesday. Mason was found guilty of the murder of Dusty Childress after an alleged gun battle on a county road in Abilene in March of 2017. Now before jury deliberation today, an attorney taking a Bandito vest and throwing it into a trash can as he gave his closing argument, saying Jones County belongs to law-abiding citizens and not to the Banditos. Also saying Banditos should be afraid to drive into Jones County. He also argued Mason's ranking within the military coincided with his ranking in the Banditos organization, giving him a place of belonging and a group he could represent honorably. You can get a full recap of these trials on bigcountryhomepage.com.
More local news coming your way in 60 seconds. First, Dylan is here with your first check of the forecast.
That's right, David. If you liked today and you liked yesterday, you're really going to enjoy this weekend. Plenty of sunshine heading our way. It was a bit of a wet day for the coastline of Texas, but here in the big country, almost nothing but sunshine, and that is continuing. Well, maybe not necessarily sunshine right now, but we are experiencing clear skies still, mid to low 50s already. We got up to the upper 60s today, and tomorrow going to be almost identical in every way, except maybe a little bit on the same breezy side. Mid 60s tomorrow afternoon, starting out the morning in the mid 40s. Definitely grab a jacket on your way off to work or school. Just be aware, a little bit breezy by tomorrow afternoon especially. Kathleen?
All right, thanks, Dylan. Tonight, continuing coverage into that list of priests accused of sexual abuse of minors. And that list from the Diocese of San Angelo, including 8 former priests who had served in the Abilene area. The diocese saying it's doing everything it can to help victims of abuse and prevent sexual assault from happening again. We sat down with Bishop Michael Siss, who says procedures put into place in 2002 are showing positive results.
Of course, there are 13 people that appear on this list. But what's good news is that none of them are from 2002 on, because I believe that the practices that we put into place in 2002 have had a real positive impact on the life of our church.
And all but one are dead, retired, or removed from the ministry. The church hopes releasing the list will help rebuild trust. Now, just because a priest was named on the list does not mean that person has been proven guilty. And we've posted that complete list of former priests on our website, bigcountryhomepage.com.
3 Abilene teens accused of setting a chicken on fire in a social media video have been arrested. Now, this story trending now on the Krdc Facebook. 18-year-old Jaden Blake and 17-year-old Callan Christopher both taken into custody today on animal cruelty charges. An unnamed juvenile also arrested in connection to this crime. He will not be identified due to his age. Their bonds set at $5,000 each. Court documents reveal police began their investigation after a video began circulating on social media showing a live chicken doused in flammable liquid then set on fire. Now, KRBC choosing not to air this video as it is disturbing and graphic in nature. Christopher admitted the chicken was his and he's the one who set it on fire. Blake confessed to making the video.
It should disappoint everybody in our city to realize that 37% of the populace in the Taylor County Jail have mental health issues.
The Abilene Police Department and Betty Hardwick Center working together to get those with mental illnesses out of the Taylor County Jail. Right now, when a person is in crisis, dispatch receives a call and 2 police officers are sent. This becomes a problem due to officers not properly trained when it comes to handling a mental illness situation. Police now creating a crisis response team for that very reason. This would include a police officer, firefighter, paramedic, and mental health commissioner all responding to a call.
Sometimes we have a long-standing relationship with these people. We've known them and been a service provider for them in their lives for many, many years. And so sometimes having a known person who knows what's going on and understands can be very helpful in resolving a situation, but it also can help an officer determine what is the next best step.
The crisis response team should be up and running by the spring.
At KRBC Military Matters, today we're remembering a day at Dyess Air Force Base history.
The smell of the jet fuel burning was just absolutely something you'll never forget.
The KC-135, a refueling jet, started in Michigan and was headed for Hawaii after a stop here in Abilene. Reports at the time showed the jet had difficulty taking off and crashed shortly afterwards.
The 19 passengers included military spouses and retired service members. 2 of them boarded at Dyess, the rest from Michigan. We spoke to a former member of Dyess Security who was there that day.
Full of fuel, engulfed in flames. It was just a terrible fireball. I remember the sound, just rattling windows and everything around you, and just a very horrific thing to witness, be part of, and very solemn day to remember, that loss of life.
The crash is commemorated with a plaque outside of the Dyess Museum. Now, that incident is one that proves how important it is for Dyess personnel to always stay prepared.
That's exactly what crews did today. Now, you probably saw black smoke coming from the base today as Dyess crews joined forces with the Abilene Fire Department for live fire trainings. They lit a plane replica in a controlled environment and practiced response tactics. It's a normal occurrence at the base, but a first today as the Abilene Fire Department came to the base to participate.
I'll probably be like a lineman or back somebody up, so I'll go out there and actually put out the fire and help whoever's on the line kind of like stay upright. So yeah, it's no matter what you do, it's pretty big. Everybody has a role and they're responsible for executing the role.
They performed 3 controlled burns total today. Abilene Fire Department will offer mutual aid to the base when needed. And
Representative Jody Arrington meeting with law enforcement today talking about the impact border security has on local crime rates. Arrington also saying if there can be no agreement made to build President Trump's proposed border wall, he believes the president should declare an emergency and build it anyway.
But at some point, we have to say, not what's popular in my base, what's the right thing for our country? And so I'm hopeful that in this window we'll get something, but if we don't, Victor, I think the president ought to declare a national emergency and do it anyway.
Arrington went on to give support to current officials on the calls for immigration reform, stating a wall by itself would not be enough to solve the problem. You can watch that full conference on the BCH2Go mobile app.
On Capitol Hill today, a lot of warm words and talk of compromise at the first meeting of the conference committee charged with finding a compromise on border security in order to avoid another government shutdown.
But even if the group is able to reach a deal, Washington correspondent Drew Petrimo reports the plan must also pass through Congress, where rank-and-file lawmakers remain bitterly divided on immigration policy.
During the first meeting of the 17-member bipartisan committee, both Democrats
ready to work in good faith
and Republicans
I hope that by reaching a compromise here, we will set a tone.
Spoke optimistically about their chances for success. But outside the meeting, a political battle is being waged over border security, with neither side showing signs of budging. The thorniest issue is President Trump's demand that any border security plan include his plan to extend the southern border wall, which most Democrats oppose.
If there's no wall, it doesn't work.
There's not going to be any wall money in the legislation.
Tennessee Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn says the wall is key to making American communities safer.
Drug trafficking, human trafficking, gangs, sex trafficking, those issues end up on our city streets.
But Tennessee Democratic Congressman Steve Cohen says hiring more officers and boosting technology offers more promise than the president's plan.
Most of these stories that have been told by the president are just fantasies.
If the committee can't craft a bill that can win the approval of the House, Senate, and the president, they risk another government shutdown, or the president using executive power to build the wall without Congress. It's a move that's almost certain to spark a court challenge. In Washington, I'm Drew Petromo.
Coming up on your local news, we've all heard it's cold up north, but how cold is that polar vortex? Cold enough to freeze a fireman and cause light poles themselves to shiver. Shocking images from 3 degrees after the break.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not seeing that. The next couple of days, quite the opposite here in the Big Country. I'll look at that weekend forecast coming up next.
This is KRBC Abilene's local news at 10 with Kathleen Barkley, David Bacon, and Chief Meteorologist Dylan Smith. Now, your KRBC Storm. Now, your KRBC Storm Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dylan Smith.
All right, today really doesn't get much nicer or again, does it. We're looking at warming temperatures for the next few days. Let's recap what we saw today. We were about 10 degrees above normal for both the overnight low and the afternoon high, which really translated into a gorgeous day. It was a little cloudy to start, but those clouds cleared out. Skies also became beautifully blue. I mean, it was a very nice day. Not even that windy in the grand scheme of things. We've definitely seen stronger winds for a lot of us. And as I said, that warming trend continues through this weekend, not just stopping tomorrow or Saturday. Actually, through about Monday or Tuesday is when we finally get back to normal for a lot of us. So staying really nice next few days. Also a little bit on the breezier side of things, but not anything we haven't seen before. Again, it is West Texas. Winds are just comes with the territory, unfortunately. Also some light rain chance by the weekend, but other than that, a very nice forecast for a lot of us, especially considering we're still in winter. It was a busy day for the coastline, a lot of showers and storms down near Houston, but here in the Big Country and a lot of places in Texas was very quiet, very sunny, and maybe a little bit on the breezier side. Right now, 3D live radar, again, nothing going on. Don't have to worry about any showers right now. We could see a couple heading into tonight and tomorrow, so let's take a look at the future weather for tonight and tomorrow. Right now, looking to be pretty clear. By tomorrow morning, a couple of clouds, but could see a couple of showers move into the area. It's about a 10% chance for a lot of these showers. Really not much expected, very little accumulation at all. Likely just some passing showers. So this will be about tomorrow morning, maybe into the lunchtime hour, but generally going to stay pretty dry tomorrow. By tomorrow night, starting to see a few more potential chances for a shower or two, and then heading into Saturday, spotty showers most of the day, about 10% for that. Again, you don't see any yellow there, very light green and a little bit of dark green. So again, very light showers expected, passing, likely not even reaching the ground at times. So again, skies will clear up by tomorrow night. Looking to be a beautiful next few days. Temperatures well above seasonal. Here's that average line of 58. We're looking to be about 7 to 10 degrees above that tomorrow, all the way up to near 20 degrees above that by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with another cold front coming through just beyond this heading into Wednesday and Thursday. But beautiful weather the next few days, especially when it comes to just how warm it is outside. So try to get outside and enjoy this springtime weather, because the winter feeling will be making a return heading into next week. But for the next few days, also a little bit on the breezy side, a little bit windy on Sunday, especially upwards of 30 to maybe 35-mile-an-hour gusts, but nothing terribly gusty, at least for tomorrow and Saturday, and then staying a little breezy on Monday and Tuesday. So again, a pretty breezy the next few days. It's West Texas, though. Should be used to it. If you're not yet, welcome to West Texas. We do see a lot of wind. Temperatures tomorrow morning, very, very mild, starting about 15 degrees above normal for a lot of us. Low 50s to the mid 40s, even to the mid to upper 30s tomorrow morning, just depending on where you're at. By the afternoon hours, by lunchtime, right around 60, and then by the afternoon, getting back up to about 10 degrees above normal in the mid to upper 60s. Wind speeds right now still calming down, about 5 to 15 miles an hour. Pretty pleasant out there right now. 45 for your overnight low tonight. Expect a little bit of a breeze and some pretty clear skies, but by tomorrow morning, a few more clouds building in. Maybe a couple of showers at times, but definitely not going to be widespread. No need to cancel outdoor plans for the weekend. Just a few light showers expected Friday and Saturday.
Well, it's only a 10% chance, so that means a 90% of nothing.
That is very true. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Well, the temperatures might be warming up here in Texas, but that's not the case for the Midwestern states.
And that's right. A polar vortex isn't stopping firefighters in Wisconsin from doing their job, though. Take a look at this photo of Mitch Hansen. He's the chief of the Cameron Fire Department in Wisconsin. His beard is just one big icicle because he fought a house fire Wednesday in minus 50 wind chills. So what is it like fighting a fire when temperatures and wind chills are so low? Well, the firefighter says you're essentially frozen stiff on the outside, but warm on the inside.
Hopefully.
Okay. Meanwhile, in Cadillac, Michigan, it's so cold, even the light posts are shivering. The high in Cadillac, Michigan today, a balmy 3 degrees. They're expected to get down to negative 11 degrees tonight.
No, thank you. Finally, like much of the U.S., New York covered in a blanket of snow. People are literally having to dig through it. A lot of it is maintenance work, like keeping driveways clear and getting ice off of windshields. Dangerous wind chills are expected to continue throughout the Northeast and Midwest through the weekend. And I was telling Dylan earlier, I was listening to the radio this morning, and they said that people were warning when you go outside, don't talk because you don't want that cold air in your lungs.
No, you don't. Up next on Krdc News, all 4 of our Division III Big Country colleges in action at home tonight. David brings you the highlights.